Good Friday evening to you. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. Welcome to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. The Browns at 2-3, getting ready to host the 4-1 Seattle Seahawks over at First Energy Stadium on Sunday. And the Browns are trying to rebound from that 31-3 embarrassment at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. Freddie Kitchens' guys are starting to realize they're not going to sneak up on anybody, and in fact, teams are looking forward to play the Cleveland Browns this season. Baker Mayfield and the rest of the Browns realize they just have to get better.
It's been a good wake-up call for us, to realize, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We have to play our game. We have to give them our best shot. It's time to stop worrying about exactly what they're doing and do our job first and be able to adapt on the fly, like I said. We got to execute our job first and foremost.
Hey, Baker, we were asking Freddie today, and he said there's no carryover from one year to the next. Are you surprised that maybe you were able to just pick up where you did finish in last year so strong?
We're a different team. Obviously I'm not happy that I'm not picking up with the same success that we ended off with, but that's a part of the game. It's a part of the learning curve of, getting better each week, trying to get better and trying to execute, and just, knowing who we are as a team and what I need to do to, make us have success. And for me, it's about winning games, and so when we don't do that, I didn't do my job.
What about personally, from a performance standpoint, do you think you're playing as well as you did to finish last season?
I think there's certain areas I'm playing better than I have. I could really care less about stats. For me, it's, like I said, about winning, but there's some things pre-snap and also going through my reads that I'm proud of compared to last year, but there's also a lot of areas that I can get better at.
What are the elements that make you think that the team might get in some sort of a groove?
Who we have in this locker room. I think it's along the lines of what I said a few weeks ago about sticking together, not really caring what's going on the outside. And I think we've identified the problem, and we're going to be able to go out there and do our best to eliminate those problems, those issues, and that's what type of team we have, and we're going to ride together.
Has chemistry been lacking to this point to a notable extent, and is that something that you're kind of looking to generate?
No, I think it's just a lack of execution on all fronts. I think it's just about everybody doing their job, not worrying about chemistry this or all the outside noise. It's about just doing your job and knowing that we have the guys in this locker room that we believe in. That's why everybody was brought here. Now just go do it.
Baker, how frustrating has it been that you haven't been able to get the ball in Odell's hands more often than past?
It's frustrating when teams take him out of the game, but it's also an opportunity for other guys to make plays. But we got to do our job of getting him the ball as many times as we can. He's a game changer. That's why he's here. That's why he's one of the best in the league. And so we'll do our part, and we expect him to do his as well.
Do you feel like it's going to come down to you making them pay the way that they're playing him before you can kind of come back and win one?
Absolutely. I think it's about seeing how teams are going to play, and if there is one-on-ones, we have to be able to take advantage of it. And if not, he's got to be patient, and we do too, of not forcing the ball to him, taking advantage of how defenses are playing, make them adapt before we can get the ball to him.
How's he been handling all of it from your perspective?
He's frustrated when he's not getting the ball and we're losing. Why not be? Because he feels like he could, help us win if we get the ball in his hands. And when we're winning, that's the thing about it, is he's a team guy. He's helping us win in any way he can, and he understands how teams are going to play him. But it's frustrating when he's not getting the ball and we're losing. You can't blame him. That's one of the best receivers in the league, and if he's not getting the ball, he always has that in the back of his mind of what if I did get the ball and change this game.
Does it take a while for a quarterback and a receiver to really develop that, the nuances, the timing, the rhythm, and all that kind of stuff like you sort of have?
I think it's just about how we're teaching the offense of the details of the routes. I wouldn't necessarily say chemistry is within that. Just understanding how we want to get things accomplished, and I think right now we're headed in the right direction. I think we know exactly how we want to attack teams and exactly what we want to do.
Was there something to be said though for the fact that because of the hip injury and whatnot, he really wasn't able to practice very much?
Yeah. No, I think for him, that's why the mental part of it was so important, of knowing exactly what he needs to do, where he needs to be. It definitely hurt not having him get real live reps, but it didn't hinder us in the long run. And now it's just about execution.
Might you start running the ball more?
What? I'm a quarterback.
Yeah, right, but as plays to make first downs or whatever that might come in handy for the team, are there times when maybe a run was there? Are you running about the amount that the film dictates you should have run?
I mean, I'm not sure where you're saying that I should have run, but if it
Well, I'm asking you if there are places you saw. I have no idea.
if it helps
But
our
I
team
know
win,
you-
then I'm going to try and do it. Yeah.
You haven't been running. I think you ran a little bit more last year than you are this year.
Yeah. I'm also trying to get the ball in guys' hands. I'm not as good an athlete as some of the other guys.
Baker, last week you talked about stacking wins, and you've had inconsistency, kind of a roller coaster so far. Is any of this come down to handling success and being able to build off a big win and then have that carry over?
Yeah, I think definitely momentum for us. I mean, you can look at also in-game momentum of being able to take advantage of our defense getting turnovers. And then you talk about the big picture of, once you win, what did you do well and what mistakes do you need to eliminate, and just realizing who you are. And I think we found out who we are as an offense identity-wise, and I think we need to continue to do that. Get the ball out quick, playmakers make plays. Offensive line, it makes them easy on them. Run games that has hole for them, but it takes a little time, but it's also consistency is the key. That's why the momentum for us, the ups and downs, is hurting us a lot.
How do you characterize your guys' sense of urgency here with a home game, with heading into the bye?
Our sense of urgency is at an all-time high right now. I think we got guys that are locked in. They realize exactly what we need to do. So we're going to take this short week and see what we can do on Sunday.
What about Russell Wilson? Can you just address, maybe how much you've looked up to Russell and emulated him over the years?
Russell's obviously a great quarterback, great leader for his team. His playmaking speaks for itself. He's done it consistently for a lot of years, and right now he's playing some of the best football he ever has. So that just shows you each year he's getting better and better. And they plug and play a lot of guys. They got a different set of skilled players right now, but they're doing a great job, and he's the key focal point of that.
You talked about making more completions, and that's one thing you wanted to do, obviously. I'm thinking of two passes in this game. Callaway one at the goal line. Were you happy with the pass? Was it good enough?
No, I wouldn't. I said it after the game. I could have put it more in front of him. It wasn't as accurate as I'd like to be, but I definitely can be better.
And the other one I'm thinking of is the one back on down the sideline that was high.
Yeah.
So it's the same classification.
Yeah, it can be a better ball, but it comes down to I'm not going to be perfect every time, and our receivers aren't as well. But the more plays you can make that are right there on the that line of could we make it? Yeah, but we're going to try and make as many of those as we can.
Just a couple more. When we asked Freddie about corrections to get the offense consistent and on track and where you want it to be, he mentions just about every area. Like it's not just one thing. If you guys tweak, that puts everything on track. How challenging though is that when it's for you and just as a unit, when it's not just one thing that needs to get straightened out?
It comes back to everybody doing their job. It's as simple as that. That's why it's not one area or thing you can pinpoint on. And that's why there's no finger pointing going on here. Everybody here is to blame, and they know that. That's why we got a bunch of guys that are going to come together and going to ride out together and fix the issue, fix the problem at hand, and eliminate mistakes and do your job.
Baker Mayfield talking about what the Browns need to do in order to get things rolling in the right direction. The 2-3 Browns hosting the 4-1 Seattle Seahawks, trying to get back to 500 on the year. Well, I want to tell you about the Ohio Lottery and our stat of the month. Did you know there's over $6.25 million paid out on Ohio Lottery pick games each and every week? With that amount of winnings, stop by your local retailer and try your luck with Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5. We're just getting things rolling on More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. When we return, we'll hear from more of the Browns as they get ready for the Seahawks Sunday, 1 o'clock at First Energy Stadium. More Sports and Les Levine. We'll be right back.
Presque Isle Downs Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Browns getting ready to host the 4-1 Seattle Seahawks over at First Energy Stadium. And in two of the Browns' three losses, they've been blowout losses. The Titans in the opener, as well as the 49ers last week on Monday Night Football. We also heard from Baker Mayfield a little bit earlier that the Browns can't really put their finger on any one thing that they are not doing well enough. It's been a combination of things. That makes it a little bit more challenging. The Browns, they just have to play better pretty much in all areas if they're going to get this thing turned around and headed in the right direction.
I hate losing, period. So anytime we lose and I don't feel like I did anything to help win the game, I'm going to be frustrated. It's just the bottom line. I'm a winner in my heart, and I hate losing. So.
Is this season in danger of slipping away if you guys don't get things going quickly?
Right now the season can go either way. We're at that fork in the road. And it's funny, we're all having these conversations, whereas I feel like in the past this team might have been 1-4, 0-5, and now we're all upset because we're 2-3. So that's a good mindset that we have, that we're upset that we're 2-3 and we know that we're capable of doing more. It's just about doing more.
Why was it important for you to get out there and return that punt in the fourth quarter?
It felt like the game was already over. There was nothing going on. I feel like I didn't really have an opportunity to do anything, so I just was getting the ball in my hands, just do too much, try and make a play.
Odell, do you feel like there have been more opportunities to get the ball, and you guys haven't been able to take advantage of that?
I don't know. It's tough to answer.
I know you've returned punts in games before, but remember the last time before this year? Was it last year?
Probably. I can't really remember.
You talk about being frustrated, not having the impact when you lose. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with 4 catches for 47 over the last 2 games?
Just deal with it. It's not really an easy answer. You just deal with it.
Do you feel like you're 100% fully integrated on top of everything, where you need to be at
I'm good.
times and doing all that stuff? It's all going out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Is there something that you either need to or can do or inclined to do to help Mayfield find a rhythm?
I think it's something that everybody has to do. Everybody's just got to pick up the level of intensity, pick up our play, block, run, catch. Everything's just got to improve.
Where does, from what you can tell, you would obviously want your quarterback's head to be in the right place, and this is a difficult time for him. Where's his head right now in your estimation?
I couldn't answer that. We're all here for each other. Can't really tell where someone else is in the head. I know he's got a lot on his plate right now. And we just, like I said, we all need to do a better job at playing better, take some off his plate. I'm more than happy to take some off his plate and put it on me. I can take it. I can handle all of this stuff. So, just put it on me and see what happens.
Do you kind of feel as though, in terms of there being a lot on one's plate, do you feel like you've been around long enough, you don't feel like there's a lot on your plate right now, you're just playing ball? And
Yeah, I'm just playing ball. Like I tell you all the time, I've grown a lot, and a lot of that growth necessarily, it's hard at times to have to sit there and worry about, the camera being on me all game and not having to show emotions or or whatever the case is. Like I care for this game, period. So whether I'm emotional during the game or whatever, it's because I care. So like I said, I'm a big boy. I can handle any criticism, any words that are said about me, anything. So just, like I said, I'll take more on my plate. I'll take that responsibility 10 times out of 10.
You know, I'm not, calling plays or designing anything, but at the end of the day, obviously he's a key part of our offense, whether he's the ball is in his hands or not. We got to find ways for other guys to continue to make plays, but, the way that it's been going, we haven't really been making enough plays without him touching the ball. So we definitely got to find a way to include him even more in the offense and be intentional with it. It doesn't matter if the defense knows it. We got to be intentional with getting the ball, getting playmakers the ball, period.
I'm sorry, why has it been so hard, you think, to get the ball to him? I know there's other variables, double teams, things like that, but why has it been so tough to get him involved as much as you'd want him to be?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, I don't call plays, right? But, I just say, from my perspective, we just have to be intentional. We have to just deliberately get him the ball, get all of our playmakers the ball. Guys that, is going to make plays for us, just get them the ball.
Well, in addition to, calling the play, it's, he's somewhere in the progression too. So, do you think that maybe just trying to go to him a little bit more often, maybe even if there is a safety over the top, I guess what I'm saying is is missing some opportunities to get the ball to him?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But at the end of the day, again, as a receiver, a lot of what our success doesn't come solely from us, a lot comes from being able to protect the quarterback, being able to get the snap, being able to drop back and, read it. There's a lot of things that goes on for us to be able to be successful or be able to make plays. So, you just can't pinpoint one thing, whether it's the cause or the progression. There's a lot of other variables, and we just need to get better at it. We need to find a way to get better at it.
Obviously, there's been a lot of questions about the offense and what's not going right for you. When we talk to Freddie and talk to others about it, it's not just one thing. The message is it's a collective thing. Breakdowns everywhere. So from your perspective, what maybe can you and the receiving core change or adjust to do your part to maybe get things moving in the direction you'd like? I feel like we've been kind of doing all that we can. I think guys have been taking advantage of the opportunities, given the opportunities. Again, we just got to find ways to be more intentional. I just believe in that. We just got to find ways to get guys we believe that's our game changers the ball, and defense got to try to stop it. I don't think it should ever be about us. I think the defense should have their hands full and should have to stop us.
Jarvis, in terms of Baker Mayfield, and he doesn't look right, the stats don't look right. From your perspective, you walk up to him and hit him on the back real hard and say, "Come on, buddy," or what do you do in your position to try to get him back to where you imagine he could or should be?
Continue to just talk to him. Continue to be in my right spots, making sure that everybody's in the right spots. Continue to make sure that he's comfortable with the game plan and everything that's going in, and trying to think, where he needs us to be and be where he needs us to be. I think, again, it's a tough position to play, especially in this league, But, we got to find ways on the outside, everybody, have to find ways to help him out. And obviously be there for him. Things happen in the NFL, fumbles, picks, whatever, drops, it happens, but we're professionals. We got to be able to be there for our brother and just keep moving on and making plays for him.
How's his head right now?
His head is good. His head is good.
So you've been on one playoff team, and Dell's been on one. The fact is, most of the guys haven't been on none. Against some important guys like Baker and Garrett. What's the balance? The quarterback saying the sense of urgency is an all-time high. It's the sixth game of the season. How do you balance managing the whole season to get where you want to go? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the questions about this team was lack of experience.
Right.
How do you break through?
I think we just got to stick together. You know, I think even though it's early, it's definitely a point in our season where we have to hit the ground running. Like, we have to get going, like right now. You know, no more peaks and valleys, you know. I think the biggest thing about teams in this league, great teams, playoff teams, they put streaks together. At some point during the season, they put a couple 4 or 5 game streaks together. You know, we got to find a way to do that, you know, and we can start with it before the bye, you know, and then go into the bye, get some rest, then come back against Boston and New England, Denver, and Miami, and a divisional game against Pittsburgh, and get some things going. I think, you know, panic button is not the thing. You know, I think our focus has to be on, like, you know, we may not be as good as we thought we were, you know, and we need to find ways to play to our potential. We just haven't really been playing to our potential.
Freddie and Todd are new to each other.
Todd,
Yeah, but it's, you know, it's easy for people to say, you know, they're not getting along or whatever. The numbers aren't there. But what do you see when you see those two guys work together, Freddie and Todd?
I mean, you know, you see the interaction. Obviously, those two guys are invested. You know, majority of what we do on offense comes from both of their heads. You know, so you know, just finding ways. I'm sure they just pick things up from each other and try to put us in the best position possible to go out there and be successful. You know, now again, we still have to go out there and execute. We still have to go out there, block, catch, throw, tackle, kick, punt, whatever. You know, we still have to go out there and do those things, but. You know, I'm sure, you know, they're doing everything that they can do to put us in a position to be successful and win.
Browns trying to get to 500 on the season if they can pull off a win against the Seahawks on Sunday. Well, I want to tell you about Northeast Factory Direct. There are no gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, no typical retail nonsense. Just 3 huge bare-bones warehouses filled with some of the same stuff found at a number of stores, with one big difference. At Northeast Factory Direct, these items are priced about half of regular retail. If you want nice big-ticket items to improve your home and you want to pay half of what most people pay, you got to go to Northeast Factory Direct. 3 locations in the area: West 140th Street in Cleveland, in the old B&B Appliance on Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, and Freeway Drive in Macedonia. You can check out everything on northeastfactorydirect.com. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. When we return, we'll hear from the Seattle Seahawks and what they think against the Browns, about the Browns, as they get ready to come to Cleveland and take on the Browns on Sunday. More sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. We'll be right back.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Oh, gosh. Playing Ohio Lottery Pick 3, I see. What are you going to do? A box bed, a split pairs, or a wheel? Well, old Picky Ricky here is a straight shooter.
Okay.
It razzes my berries when newbies think betting's hard. Straight bets are easy peasy. Just match 3 numbers in order and win the old-fashioned way. This, on the other hand, is not so simple. Oh, God. Oh, jeez Louise. Play the Ohio Lottery Pick 3 today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen, for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Welcome back to More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. The 4-1 Seattle Seahawks come to town to take on the 2-3 Browns. Now, Seattle has beaten the Bengals by a point, the Steelers by 2 points, and they're coming off a 30-29 win over the Rams on Thursday. So a little bit of extended rest. But Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, and the rest of the Seahawks don't sound like they're taking these Browns lightly at all.
Looking at a new team to us and a new staff and new players and all that is a challenge for us. We got to figure them out and figure out how we're going to go about it. But it's another big opportunity for us to come back and try to play championship football and see if we can find a way to go on the road and do it again. I'm really excited about the challenge of it because of the last couple times we went out. I really liked the way our guys played, and I'm hoping we can recapture that mentality and the juice that it takes to go play in a really rugged stadium, tough place, great fans, the whole thing, and so we're going to work hard to get up for it.
What do you know about Freddie Kitchens, and have you guys crossed paths?
No, I just kind of know a little bit of track record and all that, and he's been in some really good places with some really good coaches. I've thought really highly of him, and guys that I respect and all that, and he's obviously a terrific ball coach.
What challenge is Myles Garrett?
He's about as much as you can get, you know. He's a terrific athlete. He's got great speed and burst and flexibility to bend and get off the ball and then get on around the corner. He's off to a great start. He's got 7 sacks. He could have had 10 at this point, so he's maybe more. He's real legit.
What's such an emphasis on stopping the run? How much of a freak is Nick Chubb to watch on film?
He's a fantastic player. You know, we loved him in the draft coming out, and we interviewed him, you know, in our room and made sure we knew who he was. And he's a fantastic kid too. You can see why he's tough and a leader, and he has all the character in the world. And so you're going to see two guys run the ball pretty hard in this weekend. It'll be pretty fun to watch them match up.
How is DJ Fluker?
Well, Fluke's got a hamstring that we're working on. He can't practice right now. He's not ready to go.
What's the challenge of trying to figure out a team that's had 2 such wildly different weeks the last couple of weeks where they look like
we're
they're
going to look at them at their best. You know, look at them when they've been on it, and they've got a lot of firepower. They got guys that are really good playmaking players out there, right quarterback to running back to receivers, tight ends. They can all do stuff on offense, and then they got the big pass rushers too. So there's plenty of attraction to this football team. The kickers are kicking good. They got a darn kicker's got a nickname already, you know, and so how did that happen? So there's plenty of stuff to be attracted to figure it out.
What have you seen from Mayfield? The way he fished last year had everyone really excited.
He can do everything. He's got terrific sense for the game. He's got good timing. He's got a terrific arm. He's got the accuracy to come up with huge plays and make the great throws. He's bold. He's a confident kid. Gets the ball out fast. Does a really nice job in the play action game. You know, he's a terrific. They didn't miss it with picking him way up there. You know, he's the real deal. So we got to be ready for it.
What's the best way to neutralize someone like Odell Beckham Jr. who has all that playmaking ability?
Well, you have to do a lot of stuff to try to deal with that, and it starts with rushing the passer, so the quarterback's not comfortable. But he's an amazing talent, and there's nothing that he can't do out there. So you have to do all of the things. I'm not going to tell you the game plan if you don't mind, but you have to do all the stuff that you got to do to keep him from getting a good, clean look consistently where it's easy for him. We got to make it hard on him.
Well, yeah, Myles Garrett looks amazing on film. He's making, I think he's got 7 or 8 sacks. He's making a lot of plays. I got to spend a little bit of time with him, this summer around the ESPYs week, just being around him and stuff like that. Just a great person, does a lot of amazing things. Off the field, obviously the player on the field, he's a superstar, but off the field, all the things he does, I know he's really kind of the leader and help leading Water Boys and all their things they've been doing and just community stuff. And so he's just a great overall player, great person. So we're expecting him to bring his best for sure.
But when you have a player that is so big, Russell, like Miles takes up so much space, just kind of what are the keys going against a guy like that versus any other great pass rusher?
Well, he's not just big; he's athletic. He can really run. You know, I remember watching his combine and seeing this guy run. It was crazy. Yeah, we got to be aware of where he is. I think we've played great players like him before. You know, you put him in the bunch of guys like Khalil Mack and Von Millers of the worlds, and he's younger, obviously. He hasn't played as many games as those guys have, but he's that caliber of an athlete for sure.
You got to know Baker Mayfield a little bit too, right? Doing that show.
Yeah, we did. QB to QB. Yeah, it was cool getting to know Baker and just being around him, his competitive nature and everything else, and and just seeing him get drafted, number 1 overall was pretty cool, for the shorter guys. So, I know he's a great competitor and he's always loved winning.
When you're facing guys like Mack and Garrett, how much can you, running outside of them or threatening to run outside of them, slow down their pass rush, give them something to think about?
I don't really think about that often, but I think that obviously my ability to move and get outside and make things happen is always a tough thing on the defense. But it's not something I'm trying to do. It just naturally happens. I think that you also got to know that they can run too. So you just got to pick and choose the times and when to do it if it happens, and just be smart with the football when you get outside the pocket.
Every game is different, but when the 49ers dominated the Browns, does it go through your mind that you guys as a team also have to go out there and dominate the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that every game in the NFL is different. Every moment's different. No matter what happened the week before, it doesn't mean anything about this week. And the reality is you got a lot of great football players on every team in the National Football League. I know the Cleveland Browns got a lot of amazing football players, and last week doesn't determine who they are, and we have to understand that. We understand that they've got all the talent in the world. They can do a lot of things. They got great coaching and stuff, and so we got to be on our stuff. Freddie Kitchens, great offensive coach, being the head coach, but offensive coach, offensive mind. They have Steve Wilkes, great defensive coordinator, who's done a lot of amazing things over his time in terms of calling plays, and I've seen him a bunch of times over the years, and from Carolina to Arizona and now with the Browns. And so we have to be prepared, and we're going to be prepared. We're excited about that. We've had a great week so far. We're locked in and loaded. I think that their game last on Monday night, it was a tough one because they started off, so poorly. That's the thing about this game. You got to start off right. You got to, can't give the ball away. And I think that's why they struggled in that game. I think the game would have looked a little different if that wasn't the case.
What stands out to you about Baker Mayfield when you see him on film?
Competitor. He is a competitor. And a lot of things he do is, I would say unconventional is the word. He's not like a traditional drop back quarterback. He makes a lot of plays happen. He's similar to Russ in a sense, scrambling, making plays, quick passes. He always wants to make something happen. He always keeps his eyes downfield, and that's a good thing for a quarterback.
Is it hard to watch the game on Monday and then not take the Browns lightly the following week, given how lopsided that game was?
I like to live by the term any given Sunday. You give every team their respect. You go out there and prepare for them because that was them, If you think about it, the Rams, that took a big loss to them, but you still respect the Rams, They took a big loss to the Bucks, and the following week, we still gave them their proper respect. So I feel like the same is due to the Browns. They got some very good athletes, prepared athletes, playmakers all over the field. So, they can get this thing clicking at any moment. We just don't want it to be against us.
You guys are 12-6, and your last 18 games have kicked off at 10 a.m. Historically, that Seattle Seahawks with those early East Coast kickoffs. Why do you think you guys have been so successful in the last few years?
I would just say the schedule that we have intact. Coach does a good job, not only coaching us and keeping an eye on how the team is feeling, but really just reading our emotions and how we feel. We got out to Pittsburgh and we tried something new. We all rolled over to the bus together, and he felt like it worked. It kept us together. We were one unit, and something that we continue with. Even at home games, we find a way to get everybody together just so we can feel the unity right before everybody goes in their zone and gets ready for the game. So I feel like our preparation for the game is probably our biggest reason for success.
Seattle Seahawks 4-1 on the season, trying to go to 5-1 Sunday at 1 o'clock, First Energy Stadium against the Browns. who are trying to even things out on the season at 3-3. Want to tell you about Cuyahoga Community College. Explore your interest and find a program that puts you on the path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses in over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu, tri-c.edu, Cuyahoga Community College, where futures begin. We're going to take a quick time out. When we return, the D-Man joins us in studio to take a look at some of the point spreads and some of the picks that he likes. The D-Man straight ahead. When more sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition continues.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. I'm Dave Bacon. Want to remind you, legalized sports wagering just a little over an hour away from downtown Cleveland, right off of I-90 East in Erie, Pennsylvania, at Presque Isle Downs and Casino. It's the Sports America Sportsbook, as the Bet America Sportsbook. 50 state-of-the-art kiosks located throughout the casino, some right inside the front door. It's touchscreen betting at Presque Isle Downs and Casino in Erie, Pennsylvania. We are going to welcome in the D-Man for the D-Man's picks. 5 picks against the spread. D-Man, let us start with the Browns. 2-point underdogs at home against the Seahawks. Seahawks on a long week as they played Thursday night. Browns on a short week as they played Monday night.
Yeah, Dave, I don't want to be accused of being a homer because I am not a homer, but I'm going with the Browns. Even though I have the 31-3 destruction by the 49ers still rattling around in my head, the reason is, number one, pride. You're not going to tell me the Browns are as bad as they showed on Monday night because the previous week they had gone to Baltimore and won. They have professional pride. They are going to be at home. I refuse to believe also that the Browns will fall to 0-3 at home. I just can't even fathom that. You could talk about how the Browns have a soft second half of the schedule, or so we think, but still, no one could have imagined, even with the hard part of the schedule at the front, of the first half, that they would go 0-3 at home. So that's in play for me. Also, as good as the Seahawks are, as lights out as quarterback Russell Wilson has been, they're still on the road. They're multiple time zones. So I'm trusting the Browns to pull this one out.
Yeah, the Browns are going to be a tough team to figure out all season long. I think it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have some head scratchers, both good and bad. Don't forget this team that put a beat down on the Ravens, which is a pretty good football team not that long ago. We'll move on. Redskins, a 3.5-point underdogs on the road against the Dolphins. And boy, you really got to be into the spread to be looking at this game.
The toilet bowl. And I have been going back and forth on this right up till taping of this segment. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Redskins. And as I said, back and forth. 2 hours ago, I was thinking Dolphins. Because when the Redskins fired Jay Gruden, and now Bill Callahan is the interim, you don't know which way a team's going to go. Some teams continue to slide. Other teams rally behind the interim. So I suppose I'm putting my faith in the Redskins players weren't necessarily in love with Jay Gruden and have enough respect for Bill Callahan that they're going to max out with the effort. But when you look at the rosters, truly the Redskins are a better roster. As terrible as both teams' records are, winless, the Redskins have a better roster and specifically a better defense. So that's what I'm going with in laying the 3.5 on the road. I don't think the road part of it should rattle anybody because, it's Miami. And yes, the Dolphins have given some teams issues for a quarter or a half. So you think about the Dallas game. They gave Dallas trouble for a half. They gave the Chargers trouble for a quarter and a half. But because of their lack of talent, they fade in the second half. And that's where I think the Redskins, who have now named Case Keenum the quarterback, Callahan's going with Keenum, I think they prevail by more than 3.5.
Yeah, and you mentioned quarterbacks. Browns fans can relate to all the quarterbacks on both sides. They're looking a lot like what the Browns fans have gone through since they came back before Baker Mayfield. Let's move on. Texans at the Chiefs. Chiefs at home, 4.5 points favorites against the Texans.
Yeah, I'll admit that in going with the Texans here, I am overreacting to a degree to what I saw last week, which was the Indianapolis Colts come into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. I flat out admit to an overreaction. What I'm not overreacting to is how severe Patrick Mahomes was limping around the field. And then they showed why he was limping. They showed the times where he got hit on an already injured ankle. And yeah, I haven't seen him ruled out. It looks like he's going to give it a go. But you can't tell me that the human ankle, even on Superman, like Pat Mahomes is to the quarterback position, that it can heal that quickly. All it takes is one hit, and he's gimpy again. And I also have a lot of faith in Deshaun Watson. I think Watson is a phenomenal player. He's playing at an MVP caliber, in my opinion. So I think the Texans come in to Kansas City, and even if they don't win, they cover the spread.
49ers at the Rams. The Rams at home, 3-point favorites. They did not play well Thursday night against the Seahawks, who were coming into town. And are you buying the 49ers that you saw Monday night? They looked good against the Browns. I'm still not 100% sold on that, though.
I am taking the Rams in part because of what I call the Tennessee Titans rule, which is never overreact to a team that beats up on the Cleveland Browns. Go back to week 1. The Tennessee Titans, 43-13. They come into Cleveland. They destroy them. They're chirping. We are who they thought they were. And then they proceed to lose their next 2 games. So I've got that in my head as I think about this. The Rams have had extra time to think about their disappointing performance in Seattle. They've lost 2 in a row. They're not losing 3 in a row. And yes, you could say that the 49ers are good at 4-0. You are what your record says you are.
Right.
But I'm not totally buying the Niners as some invincible, dominant force all of a sudden. And you're going to tell me, while you're selling me on the Niners, I have to believe that the defending NFC champions are all of a sudden mediocre? So give me the Rams laying the 3.
And the last one we'll talk about, Falcons 2.5-point favorites at the Cardinals. That shows you just how far the Falcons have fallen.
Well, that's the point, and that's why I'm taking the Falcons, because it's desperation time in Atlanta. I mean, you could make a case that they're fighting to keep Dan Quinn's job. I mean, I don't know if Falcons players would admit to that, or even if it's on the table. Maybe Arthur Blank is incredibly patient, but the Falcons have been a disappointment this year with one win. You're not going to convince me that they're going to go into Arizona, which is young, very young, and rebuilding and all this stuff, and all of a sudden you're going to lose to the Cardinals. You're going to tell me the Cardinals are going to win 2 games in a row because they've beaten the Bengals the last week? But I think most of this pick is about the desperation that the Falcons are going to feel. They are too talented on offense to be, 1-4? To have a 1-4 record. And by the way, the win that they had against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think at the end of the season, the Eagles are going to be a really good team. They're going to be in the playoffs. So don't tell me that the Falcons are incapable when they've beaten the Eagles. But this is a desperation game for the Falcons, and I think they win it.
D-Man,
by more than 2.5.
D-Man's picks. You can find more of them in cleveland.com and take a look through them. D-Man will be joining us as well with his picks here on More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. That's going to do it for us. We are all out of time. Les will be back Monday at More Sports and Less Levine from 6 to 7. Now, I also want to remind you, legalized sports wagering a little bit over an hour away from downtown Cleveland in Erie, Pennsylvania, Presque Isle, Downs and Casino. That'll do it for us. Have a great weekend, everybody. Les Levine back in on Monday from 6 to 7. We'll see you again next Friday right here on More Sports and Less Levine, the Weekend Winners Edition. Have a great weekend.